I ran the LA Marathon in 3 hours, 22 minutes, and 11 seconds. It's time! Good morning. Today is the day that we're running the LA Marathon. I got up this morning at 3:30 a.m. It's currently 4:11. We're trying to leave by latest 4:45 to get to Dodger Stadium. Apparently the traffic in Dodger Stadium is really bad, so we'd rather get there on the early side than the later side. Probably just eat my breakfast and my coffee in the car, but it's marathon day. We are in the car. It is officially marathon day. It is currently 5:26. We actually left the house at 4:45. I woke up today at 3:30. Very, very early day, but we're currently just about outside of Dodger Stadium, which is pretty good because the traffic is supposed to be pretty bad, but I feel like it hasn't been too bad so far. But it is the day. I've eaten 2 pieces of toast this morning, a little bit of water, I have a coffee, and then I also have my oatmeal and banana that I think I'm gonna eat in the next like 15 minutes or so, just so I can eat it like an hour to an hour and a half before the race. But it's race day, race day, race day. LJ, anything?
You kick some booty, shouldn't you?
He'll kick some booty. Kai's in the back, hi buddy. Gang's all here. And yeah, I guess I'll see y'all on the other side. You're so easy.
I just spit something out.
It's time!
I want to sit down kind of for a second.
Yeah. Shelby, you want me to hold anything?
Yeah.
How we feeling?
Wow.
Yeah, go sit.
I'm cramping.
There's a massage place right here.
I grabbed so much food.
I did.
One of everything.
I really
literally anyone wants a Chocolate milk was so good. I should have grabbed 5 chocolate milks. They were amazing.
We have some food too.
Wow. Good morning. We are back. It is now 3 days past LA Marathon, and I truly can't believe it. I don't know where this time went and how it all went so quickly, but it's done. It's over. We ran it, and I really can't believe it. So let's go ahead and recap the LA Marathon. So I ran the LA Marathon in 3 hours, 22 minutes, and 11 seconds, which is an average pace of 7:43 per mile. And I'm so happy with that. I am so happy with my effort. I'm so happy with everything that I put into both the training and this race. And I don't know if I could have given that race anymore. I think I maybe could have ran it a little bit smarter. Like, there are things I do wish that I did differently. However, I don't know if I would have changed anything about the way that I ran it, because it was all things that I don't think I could have controlled. Like, they were all out of my control of things that I wish could have gone a little bit better. And I'll get into that too. And also just things I wish I would have trained for a little bit more. But again, day of the marathon, I don't know if I could have ran that race better or given it more heart than what I did. Let's get into a recap of everything that was the LA Marathon. Today's actually Wednesday, and I took a second to do this recap because I was just letting it all soak in. And also, I was so emotional, honestly. The race made me so emotional. It took a lot out of me. Like, I gave every single thing that I had to that course. And so I think it almost took me a day or two to just come back to life from it, because it was so overwhelming in just the best way. I gave every single thing that I had. I felt so exhausted physically, mentally, emotionally, everything. And so just being able to soak in everything that was the LA Marathon was so great. But let's get into this recap. So I have my splits all pulled up here. So let's walk through the LA Marathon, okay? My goal actually for this was to run a 3:19. I wanted to break 3:20. I didn't really have an actual reason why. It just sounded like a good number. I wanted to run close to that 7:35, 7:40 pace and just break 3:20. So the first 5 miles, I wanted to start off fairly conservatively. If you're new to running or new to running a marathon, good rule of thumb, you do not need to start off at marathon pace those first 5 miles, especially if you're trying to negative split that marathon. If you go right off the bat and start running at paces, you're probably gonna get tired pretty quickly. And so I was trying to run above my goal pace in hopes that I would finish strong and get some of that time back. But my first mile was actually an 8:45 minute pace, which was a lot slower than I wanted it to be. But that first mile of the race was so crowded. There were so many people, and I did do a little bit of bobbing and weaving during that first mile, but not enough to get tired and also not enough to stay on pace. And so I just made that decision during that first mile that I would rather give a little bit more of that time to the course and get off of my pace and save my energy. And so that's exactly what I did. The first mile was 8:45 pace. After that, the first 5 miles, I really just focused on really being smooth, calm, and control. One of my slower miles of the race at mile 5. And I'm not saying it's completely why, but I did drop one of my gels during mile 5. And it was one of those moments where it was around this curve, and I was taking out my gel to eat my first gel, and I dropped it. And I actually kept running, like not far, just a couple steps. And I was like, shoot, I think I need that gel. So I actually ran backwards. So I ran the opposite direction on the course, went to get my gel. There was obviously runners coming. I felt like I was being that person. I felt so bad. And to the man that picked up my gel and handed it to me, holy cow, if you're watching this video, thank you, thank you, thank you. I felt so grateful. He handed me my gel. I was like, thank you so much. And then I kept going. And of course that threw me off. Like, I feel like my heart rate spiked just from that, because I felt so bad being in the wrong direction and the runners. But anyways, I got my gel, I ate my gel, and that was mile 5. Mile 6 through, I would say 15 to 17, kind of were a little bit of a blur. I just got in this rhythm, and I was just kind of ripping around 6:35s, give or take. I think some of those miles did get a little bit low in the pacing. I was 7:30. I did mile 15. I went 7:27. And so I think during those 10, 15 miles, that what was the chunk of the marathon, this is the part where I think I wish I would have trained a little bit better, because I admittedly did not do as many hill workouts as I think I should have. Miles, my pace probably could have been a little bit slower, and that's okay though. But I think if it was a little bit slower, a little bit more controlled, I think that I might have had a little bit left back for the finish, but you know, that's okay. I think I did it the best that I possibly could. Miles 18 through 20, these were my absolute favorite miles of the entire race, and they truly make me smile thinking about it now. And honestly, a little bit emotional if I'm being honest, but it was truly so special during those miles. And I think that if you ran the LA Marathon before, you know exactly the part that I'm talking about. It's that part where you're actually crossing the finish line. And so that's a little bit hard, because you're actually running away from the finish line and you can see the celebrations and you can see just a couple people trickling in and you're running away from it. So like that's hard. However, the crowd right there in that section is so incredible. I saw every single person that I knew that was cheering for me and there at race day during this section. And it was so fun because they were all spread out. So I felt like every minute or two, I saw someone else that I knew or someone else that was cheering for me. And it was the most electric section of the entire course. Like it was 2 miles of just pure fun, pure vibes, pure excitement. I was smiling so hard. I actually teared up for one moment. Like I literally had tears forming in my eyes. And then I felt my breath kind of getting short and I was like, nope, snap out of it, dial back in. So I took in the crowd for like a second, but then I just wanted to keep on racing, and also still had 5 to 6 miles to go. And so couldn't get too far out of it. But I do think I went off vibes a little too much during those miles. On mile 18, I went 7:32. On mile 19, I went 7:25. And on mile 20, I went 7:28. And then on mile 21, I went 7:46. So you can see where the energy and everything was building. And then after you left that crowd, you actually went into probably the quieter time of the entire marathon, which was those last 5 miles. And so I think a mixture of it being the last 5 miles and probably the quietest time of the entire marathon made that so hard. The last 5 miles were so brutal of this marathon. And I think it's simply just because it's a hard course. There weren't a lot of people. You're running away from the finish line. And so I feel like for just those couple miles where you're running away from the finish line, I knew that there was going to be a turnaround point, right? Like you have to turn around and run back towards the course. And I feel like I was just searching, like every turn that we made, I was wondering if that was going to be the turnaround point. And once we hit the turnaround point, I felt like that was when the race really started, because I told myself, I was like, okay, I told myself, just hang on to the paces that you're doing right now until that turnaround. And then we're going to make our move after that turnaround. And my move was very small. I did not finish my paces as fast as I wanted to. I know when I ran the Carlsbad half marathon back in January, I finished so hard. And this one I was more so just holding on for dear life. And I think that's okay. When I had 2 miles left of the race, that is when the grit and the will really started to set in, and it was just pure willpower at that point. I looked down at my watch a couple times during those last few miles, and I knew that I absolutely was gonna PR. Like I knew that. I was so far below my best time, and I knew that I was gonna do something really good and something that I was proud of, and it was a matter of just hanging on. It's like, okay, how big of a PR can I get? How fast can I go? How far under my current time can I be? And so it was really just a matter of hanging on. And there were so many times where I wanted to back off or quit, and I just had to keep playing games with my brain. And I never expected this mantra to come in my head. I actually had so many mantras that I thought of. I thought that maybe I would tap into, my layoff that I recently had. I thought that I would tap into people not believing in me. I thought that I would tap into things that I have tapped into throughout my training that would keep me going. But really the only thing that came to me and the only thing that was motivating me was that I did not want to quit. I did not want to quit. I even said out loud while I was running, do not quit. You will not quit. And I just kept telling myself that because I knew that I just wanted to give this race every single thing that I had. And if I quit on myself, I wouldn't have a race that I was proud of, no matter what the time was. Especially in those last 2 miles, I knew that if I backed off just a little bit, I wouldn't be proud of my effort. And so the fact that I finished with everything that I had was truly everything to me. When we had about 1 mile left, one of my friends was actually there and she came over to me and she just got up to me and was like, come on, let's go. And she patted me on the back, and it almost felt like that pat on the back was like a supercharge for me. If you actually look at my Garmin, you could see me get faster during that section. And then I peel off a little bit because I started dying again. And then I see the finish line and then I break that speed up again. But my mile 25, I ran a 7:15, and then my mile 26 was a 7:52, which again is fine. I was completely gassed. I had nothing left in my tank. I actually crossed the finish line and one of the aides came up to me because she could just tell on my face that I was not doing well. And she actually put her arm out like for me to grab her arm, and she was a little bit shorter than me. And I put my elbow on her shoulder and just started kind of collapsing into her. But everything was just giving out my whole body. I was so thirsty. I've never been more thirsty during a run in my entire life. I actually drank a lot more water than I thought I was going to, and I was so thirsty at the end. I chugged 2 water bottles walking out of that finish line to see our friends and family, but it was just incredible. I didn't have my phone out for any part of the race. I really just wanted to give everything I had and focused on me and my race, and it was everything to me. And I think that's what makes me so emotional, is just because I gave it so much. I didn't quit on myself. And I think that every time I run a marathon or a race, it teaches me so much. And I think that this one taught me just how strong you are physically and mentally. And does it make me curious about a flat race? Yes, it does. So maybe that's something that I'll have to do sometime soon again. But it was pretty epic. It definitely is just such an amazing sport. Running is truly amazing, and it does so much for you. And I'm so happy with it. It's been so fun sharing this journey and sharing it all with you. And if I had one thing that I could leave you all with as a takeaway from this, is just set goals that scare you, because when you accomplish them and when you push yourself to get those goals, there's just truly no better feeling in the world. And I think training for a marathon is really cool, or training for anything. You know, this could apply for so many areas of life. It's not just running and training for a marathon. But my favorite part about training for a marathon, and what I really love, is that no one's making you get up and do these things. No one is pushing you every single day to go out and get these runs in. And no one's making you go and kick your own ass quite literally every time you get out there and go run, you know, but you get out there and you do it. And I think it takes a different kind of human to enjoy doing that and to want to push themselves just to see what they can do and accomplish something that they're not sure that's possible. And that's what I love about marathon training. And that's what I love about the sport, because once you put in all those hours and all of that work, and then you achieve something that you never knew that's possible, it just opens your eyes to so much more. Like, what else can I do? Like, what else can I achieve that I don't even think I can right now? But what if I can? Like, what if I can go out and do X, Y, and Z? Because right now I don't think I can, but I also never thought that I would run a marathon, let alone a 7:43 average pace marathon. And so I say that in a way not to brag, and I share these things in a way of not to brag. I think that everyone has their own running journey, and you know, my paces should not have any impact on your paces. If anything, I want my effort and the hard work that I put into training and my sheer willpower during that race, I want that to be something that inspires and motivates you, because you should run your own race, you should take your own journey, and you should put in the work that you want to get your result and your goal. But just know that anything is possible, truly. If you put in that work, if you dive right in, and if you give it your all, anything is possible. So that's my takeaway here. Just do hard shit that scares you, because holy shit, y'all, once you get it, it's the coolest thing in the world. And now I'm just like, what is next? What are we doing next? I don't know. But thanks again for following along with this journey. The LA Marathon will always be something so special to me, and whew, that made me emotional for some reason, but the LA Marathon will always be so special to me, and I just can't believe everything that's happened since I started training for this marathon and everything that's unfolded ever since. And I never think that marathons will have this big of an impact on my life, but this is now my third one, and each one I could look back on and reflect on a different part of my life, and I just think that's the coolest thing in the whole world. So thank y'all. I love y'all. Thanks for being here, and I'll see y'all in the next video.